My family has returned twice the time that they've been held hostage. They are home now, and there is a lot of complexity, especially when we are talking about small children. My daughters are 3 and 5 year old just now in January, and I think that um, I can't even imagine what other people when they return. How will they be? Because we are talking about nightmares. We are talking about sometimes when you talk about little children, it can be rage situations. Um, some things that you, as a parent, you can notice some differences before from the situation that before they were abducted and after, and it's very difficult. And me and my wife, um, we are still we still haven't got back to our usual routine and to our jobs. And like I said, we cannot even start healing as long as our people, our brothers, also family related people that are still there. But generally, all of the people that are still there and held hostage is something that for us, it's not a complete closure, and it's very, very difficult because we can't be disconnected from our own people. We see the news, and I personally, I don't have to see the news. I talk to people on the phone and personally, and families related of the hostages, and it's very hard. We are experiencing October 7th each day. Each day it stayed with us, and sometimes memories are coming in our minds. Also, my wife, also me. So the urgency of getting back whoever is still there, and the assessment that they are still alive, most of them are still alive. It's it's first degree humanitarian cause, I think. And I hope that, first of all, it's important to say that this organization helped many people, and I am very thankful for your activity on this matter. I think that we need to trust our government and our systems again, and we are doing that. And this is something that it's not you can take it for granted, that civilians can trust in their army, in their government, and give them all the backup. And the soldiers, the warriors are part of us. And even though we have um, you know, somewhere in the territory, people abandoned us. Are those systems that were supposed to defend the civilians were not there. So it's not something that you need to take for granted, that we are still believe in our systems. We are still believe in our in the people that responsible to end the situation. And I think also the American government is something that we trust on, like we trust on the like we trust the Israeli government. We also trusted the American government, and I think that the American administration should also check what went wrong, and how can he put in first priority the return of the hostages, because this subject is connected to trust of the civilians in the government. Imagine that civilians in the future will remember that people died while held hostage because the time passed and they were neglected, and the sanitarian conditions there is very, very negative. My daughters got back with bacterias, and my wife was injured and had a I forgot the word, infected. So imagine what can happen right now to all the people, to girls. It's something that we need to always put first priority on the agenda. If anyone would like to ask a question, uh, feel free to ask.
So Yoni, I'll look for any questions that come in the chat, but in the interim, it's clearly an unimaginable situation what you and the other families go through. In your case, before and after the release, there's still a lot of work to do. But we also want to thank you for supporting those families who still are awaiting release of their loved ones. And I know that there's and we're part of it, but just wanted to thank you for helping. People are asking like, how'd you find the strength? It's a tough question, but we'll take a couple minutes, just 2 minutes, if you want to sort of answer. How did you find the strength while you were waiting?
Well, I was in a lot of activities, so my mind was distracted, you might say. But you can't run away from this situation, and it was very difficult for me. There were moments that you didn't see on camera, but like any other person, I'm also human. So I was sometimes I needed to break down, but I had hope. I had hope because I knew that they were taken alive, and I was hoping that because they are a family, a mother and two young daughters, somehow, until there will be a deal, they will be alive and in a reasonable condition. But nothing can guarantee it, and you are hanging, um, literally hanging, and you can't do anything. You can only be as hopeful as you can, and sometimes you are more hopeful and sometimes not. I think that the families are heroes, the families that are still in this situation. I can't even imagine if I was still waiting to my family right now. I don't think, I don't know how I would survive. It's so hard. So thank you for that question.
And then the last question, Yoni, was your wife and your 3 and 5-year-old together while they were being held?
Luckily, they were together, but I want to say that we were very lucky because it can easily, it could be easily different. I can tell you that there was a situation during the abduction that one of the Hamas terrorists took my older daughter, Raz, on his hands and start walking, while my wife and my young daughters were getting on the cart with the tractor that they were eventually abducted with. And if my wife haven't seen on the field this man with Raz, my older daughter, on his hands and screaming to him, "Give me my daughter back!" And during the drive, he gave my wife Raz, my daughter, during the drive, and she almost fell from the cart. So we were very lucky. So when people are asking, were they together or they got food, uh, Hamas, the other side, immediately tried to take this and said, look, we are treating those people good. They will take anything you say and will use it for their own good. And I want to only mention that at the first release, the mob banging on the Red Cross doors, and the camera filmed it. And if you will notice, the next releases, Hamas took care of that people will stay away from the Red Cross vehicles in order to for his image. So it's very important to them, their image. If even though they did the most horrific things that you can imagine, they are still very worried about their international image.